Okay, just imagine for a second. Places on our own planet where the land itself moves, where the sea can rise up like a tsunami every single year, and where lakes are somehow hidden beneath singing sands. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Well, today, we're exploring locations that seem absolutely impossible, yet they are 100% real.
So let's start with this. Is it possible for people to literally build their own land? And I don't mean, boats or platforms. I'm talking about entire floating islands, complete with homes and schools and even churches, all built by hand from reeds.
Or how about this one? Can a river, like clockwork, just unleash a massive tidal wave as tall as a 3-story building, roaring upstream at 40 kilometers per hour?
And what about a desert, one of the driest places you can imagine, where the sand dunes literally sing? And yet, hidden right between them are over 100 permanent lakes that never seem to dry up. It just defies all logic.
If those questions got you thinking, then get ready. We are about to embark on a tour of the world's most unbelievable destinations. We're going everywhere from the frozen edge of Siberia all the way to a valley in Pakistan where people are said to live well past 120 years old.
Our journey is going to start with places that are defined by the sheer, untamable power of nature. Locations where just surviving means you have to constantly respect that power.
First step, Chukotka, the easternmost part of Russia. This is a place where in winter, the temperature plummets to a bone-chilling -50 degrees Celsius. I mean, for 2 months in the winter, the sun just vanishes completely. And then for 2 months in the summer, it refuses to set.
And just look at the scale here to really get it. The region of Chukotka is 50 times larger than the city of Delhi, yet its population is only about 500 people. Compare that to Delhi's 20 million. This has to be one of the most isolated inhabited places anywhere on Earth.
Okay, from the frozen north, let's head over to China's Kwantung River. Now, most of the year, it's just a calm waterway. But once a year, it becomes the stage for something truly spectacular and dangerous, a phenomenon they call the Silver Dragon.
Yeah, this isn't just a wave, it's a tidal bore. It's a wall of water 9 meters high, funneling up the river at 40 kilometers an hour. It's such a wild sight that over 1 million people gathered just to watch it, but its raw power is just immense. It often catches people by surprise, even those who are standing behind safety barriers.
All right, before we get to our next stop, a quick definition. A maelstrom. It's a powerful whirlpool. The Vikings used to call it the crushing current. And for centuries, sailors would talk about them like they were actual sea monsters. Well, we're about to visit the most powerful one on the entire planet.
Welcome to Saltstraumen in Norway. Every 6 hours, 400 million cubic meters of water surges through this tiny, narrow strait, creating these massive whirlpools up to 10 meters wide. This is the stuff of legends, a force so terrifying it actually inspired horror stories by Edgar Allan Poe and adventure novels by Jules Verne.
Okay, so from nature's raw power, we're now going to flip the script and look at its counterpart, human ingenuity. We're visiting places created by people in environments where honestly survival itself should have been impossible.
This just perfectly lays out the process the Uros people use on Lake Titicaca in Peru. They literally build their own land. So they use the roots of the local totora reed to create a floating base, and then they just weave and stack layers on top. But here's the catch. The bottom is constantly rotting away, so every single month they have to add new layers to the top. They are literally rebuilding their country from the ground up forever.
And check these things out. The Moncel sea forts. They look like alien tripods just standing in the middle of the North Sea. They were built during World War II, but by the 50s they were totally abandoned. Then, in the 60s, pirate radio broadcasters took them over so they could operate outside of British law. One guy even went a step further. He declared his fort an independent nation, the Principality of Sealand.
So, from these strange structures rising out of the sea, our journey now takes us deep into the heart of some of the world's most mysterious deserts, these vast landscapes that are hiding some truly unbelievable secrets.
This is the local translation for the name of China's Taklamakan Desert. Yeah, with a warning like that, you'd think nobody would ever go there. It's called the Death Desert for a pretty good reason.
And yet, right smack in the middle of it all, you'll find Daryaboy. It's an oasis, kept alive by the Carrier River, which literally gives life to the village and then just vanishes into the sand. The Carrier people have lived here for centuries, and they refuse to be relocated. because for them, this place of impossible survival, it isn't a desert. It's just home. Now let's hop over to another Chinese desert, the Badiane Jiran. This place has two incredible secrets. First, it's home to the world's tallest stationary sand dunes, and when the wind blows just right, they produce this deep humming sound. That's why they're called the Singing Sands. Second, nestled between these giant dunes are over 140 permanent lakes.
So, the big question is, where is all this water coming from in one of the driest places on Earth? Well, the leading theory is absolutely mind-blowing. Scientists believe the water travels for hundreds of kilometers underground, all the way from the distant Tibetan plateau. Just think about that. The water in these lakes might have started its journey before the Great Pyramids were even built.
For our final leg, we're heading to the mountains of Pakistan on a quest to find a real-life Shangri-La.
So on the left, you've got Nanga Parbat, the 9th highest mountain in the world. Its nickname is Killer Mountain because of its treacherous climbs. But right there at its base, you find the place on the right, Fairy Meadows. It's this lush, green pasture of just breathtaking beauty. It was discovered by German mountaineers who said they felt like they'd stepped into a fairy tale. It just goes to show you how the deadliest places can guard the most beautiful secrets.
Just a few hours from there is the legendary Hunza Valley. It's rumored to be a real Shangri-La, where people live to be 120 with almost no disease. Researchers have found it's not one single secret, but a combination of everything: a unique diet, constant physical activity, mineral-rich water, low stress, and even protective genetics. It's like a blueprint for a life lived in perfect harmony with a really challenging environment.
So from floating islands to desert oases and pirate sea forts, we've seen all these places that challenge our idea of what's possible. But I think the most incredible fact of all is that each one of these impossible places is, for someone, simply home. It really forces you to reconsider the limits of human resilience, and it reminds us of our planet's hidden wonders.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? After seeing all this, you just have to ask, if these places actually exist, what other impossible wonders are still out there, just waiting for us to find them?